All right, everyone. So yesterday we talked about long division, synthetic division, and how we can find some zeros or find the remainder, right? So if I scroll up, we covered synthetic substitution, synthetic division, where we change this to the opposite thing and do our synthetic division, and then we get our remainder at the end. So today we're going to extend that a little further and talk about the remainder theorem. The remainder theorem says that if a polynomial, f of x, is divided by x minus k, which is what we did yesterday, then the remainder is f of k. So basically, if you plug in k, so we put in 6, k equals, negative 6. When you put that in and do synthetic division, the remainder is what we get at the end. All right, and yesterday in the notes, it looks like this. We had 2, 13, negative 7, and I'm just trying to sketch this out real quick. The remainder was negative 13. So basically, when we use negative 6, our remainder is what we get at the end. And that's what we did yesterday. Plug in k, use synthetic division, find the remainder. So down here it says your remainder is f of k, which is what we did yesterday. In other words, the remainder when you divide in synthetic or long division is the value that you would get for direct substitution. So if you substitute that number into the equation, it's the same thing you would get. Okay, so in other words, if we plugged in negative 6 into this equation, we would get negative 13. And we talked about that earlier this year. So if we use the remainder theorem to find the remainder for 2x squared plus 13x minus 7, if we show this, k is equal to negative 6. So what that means is if you put in negative 6 to this equation, which would be 2 times negative 6 squared plus 13 times negative 6 minus 7. So we substitute negative 6 in, you would get 72 plus negative 78 minus 7, which would be negative 13. Okay, and I did just show that above, but I'm going to show you again how we would do synthetic division. Synthetic division is when you put that number in the box, we list our coefficients, bring down the leading coefficient, and now we're multiplying negative 6 times 2, and we get negative 12. And then we add and get 1. And negative 6 times 1 is negative 6, and we add and we get negative 13. So this is what the remainder theorem says. These two things will be the same when you do synthetic division and when you substitute that into the equation. And that's all stuff we've kind of seen already. The factor theorem is a little bit new. It says a polynomial has a factor x minus k if and only if you get 0 when you plug it in. So in other words, if the remainder is 0, then x minus k is a factor. Okay, so if we get 0 at the end, then x minus k is a factor. All right, so just using that, if we go back up here, is x plus 6 a factor for this equation? The answer would be no, because we did not get 0. If we got 0, then it would be a factor. So let's show this how this works. Is x minus 5 a factor for 3x squared minus 8x plus 16? It says, can we use synthetic division here? The answer is yes, we can. If we do synthetic division, k equals positive 5, 5 goes in the box. Look at your coefficients. Are there any exponents that are skipped? No, we go from x squared to x to 16, so we're good there. So we list our coefficients. Bring down your leading coefficient, which is 3, and now 3 times 5 is 15, and then we add up and we get 7. 5 times 7 is 35, and you add up those two numbers, 16 plus 35, and we get 51. So the question was, is x minus 5 a factor? So is x minus 5 a factor? The answer is no, and the reason why is there is a remainder, or we'd say the remainder is not 0. So our remainder was 51. The only time it's going to be a factor is if the remainder is 0. In this case, the remainder is not 0. So it is not a factor. So is it a factor? No. Why isn't it a factor? The remainder is not 0. If we check the next one, it says factor the polynomial given that f of x equals 0. So we were just asked, is it a factor? And we said no. Now they're saying we know that this is a 0. So now we got to find a factor, or find the other factors. So I just want to point out that if negative 2 is a 0, this means x plus 2 is a factor. If negative 2 is a 0, that means x plus 2 is a factor. Because again, when we put it in parentheses, it becomes the opposite. So if we do synthetic division with negative 2, list your coefficients. 1, negative 5, negative 2, 24. Bring down your 1. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. If you add them up, we get negative 7. Negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. If you add those up, you get positive 12. And negative 2 times positive 12 is negative 24. When you add those up, you get 0. This is what we want. This is what should happen, because they're telling us that negative 2 is a 0. They say it should equal 0. So now, we talked in the past about when we divide these things in synthetic division, if our exponent was 3 and we divide, the exponent we use right here is going to be 1x to the second, because it's 1 less than 3. And then it's minus 7x plus 12. So what we have to do now is we have to factor this polynomial, x squared minus 7x plus 12, if possible. So if we factor this, there are 3 terms. We're going to do smiley face method. What multiplies to x squared? X times x. What multiplies to 12? We could try 3 and 4, 6 and 2, or 12 and 1. But remember, we want to get negative 7, so we're going to use minus 3 and minus 4. So we factor this polynomial that we got from doing synthetic division, and we end up with x minus 3, x minus 4. Now we have to bring down our last part. The last part is x plus 2, because they told us that if negative 2 is a 0, then x plus 2 would be a factor. So this is the final factored form. Okay, and that's the only way you can factor this original equation, is by doing synthetic division, since we know that negative 2 is a 0, and then you factor the remaining polynomial. And then it says, given one 0 of the polynomial function, find the other zeros. So it says, remember that setting a factor equal to 0 gives us the zeros of the function. So one of the zeros is negative 2. They give us that, right? So what we're going to do is do synthetic division. We're going to do negative 2 in the box, and we're going to list our coefficients. 9, 10, negative 17, negative 2. We're going to do synthetic division. Bring down the 9. Negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. And then add these up. 10 plus negative 18 is negative 8. Now we have 2 times negative 8 is positive 16. And if we add up negative 17 plus 16, we get negative 1. And then negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. And if you add those up, you get 0. That's what should happen because they told us negative 2 is a 0. Now, we rewrite the numbers down here as a new polynomial. The biggest exponent was a 3, so now we're going to say it's 9x squared because it's got to be 1 less than what our biggest exponent was. So we end up with 9x squared minus 8x minus 1. Okay, and what we have to do now is we have to set this equal to 0 and factor because we're trying to find the zeros. So if we factor this, numbers that multiply to 9x squared, I'm going to go right to it. It's going to be 9x and 1x. And numbers that multiply to 1 are 1 times 1. If we make this a negative 1, we'll get negative 9x. And make this a positive 1, you'll get positive 1x. And negative 9x plus 1x is negative 8. So this would be the factored form. And I know some of you may have to try some different numbers to get this. I'm going to jump right to it just to save you some time. So now what we do is we take our factors and set them equal to 0. So 9x plus 1 equals 0. We're going to subtract 1 from both sides to get 9x equals negative 1, and then divide by 9 to get x equals negative 1 over 9. Take the other one, x minus 1, and set that equal to 0. We add 1 to get x equals positive 1. So our last 0 is 1. So the zeros we get are negative 2, negative 1 over 9, and positive 1. And we got that by doing synthetic division and then factoring and finding the other zeros by setting them equal to 0. Okay, and then we have one more example. It says, given the function and the 0. So the 0 they give us is 4. We have to find the other zeros. And to do that, we're going to use synthetic division. 4 goes in the box. List out your coefficients, which are 1, negative 8, positive 4, positive 48. Bring down the 1. 4 times 1 is 4. When we add those up, we get negative 4. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. If you add those up, you'll get negative 12. Okay, and then 4 times negative 12 is negative 48. And when we add those up, we get 0. That's what we should get because they told us that 4 was a 0. Now, the biggest exponent is x to the third. So down here, we'll have 1x squared minus 4x minus 12. And we're trying to find the zeros, so we set that equal to 0. And then we have to factor. X times x is x squared. And now think of numbers that multiply to negative 12 and could possibly give us negative 4. So we're going to go with negative 6 times positive 2 is negative 12. Because negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. We set each of these equal to 0. Okay. Add 6 to get x equals 6. Minus 2 to get x equals negative 2. So the zeros are 4, 6, and negative 2. Okay. So essentially, we did synthetic division, we factored, and that's how you find the zeros. All right, as always, let me know if you have questions, and we will practice this more when I see you in class.